When the recording started. It is ready, you can go.
Recording.
Yeah, the recording has started, so
Okay.
Cheryl is delayed, so Ray, our vice chairman, is going to proceed with.
Okay. Okay. I'll call the meeting to order, and do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes from October 3rd, 2020.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, all in favor? Did I get a
Aye.
second? Aye, okay.
I'll-
No
I'll-
motion.
Did I second? I thought I did. That's okay, whoever.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to bring up everything on my other computer screen too.
It
Here we
says
go.
seconded by Donna.
Mhm.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. Correspondence and announcement on PACD monthly report.
Yeah, that was submitted to everybody in your packet. There was nothing in there that we need to act on. It basically PACD gave us a report of their activities that justify their dues that we're paying to them, which they are doing an excellent job at this point in time.
Great, okay. So I'll go by each one of these requests for yeah. Oh, excuse me, just a second. I gotta hang on. I'm being called. Yeah, okay. All right. So yes, I'd like to request a motion for the affiliate fund to file all the bank statements for the audit. So I guess it would be one motion for all the bank statements.
That's correct.
Okay. Would
Make that
anybody
motion
like
to
to make
file.
that motion?
Yep.
Randy makes the motion. Any seconds?
I'll second.
Okay, motion seconded, and all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Okay, the motion passes.
Just so you're the board's knowledge here, we did add another bank account. That is the ACAP, which is the Agricultural Conservation Program. And that is $50,000 they gave us working capital on that process.
Okay. Thank you. Emergency reviews. Motion, is there a motion to approve the deposit, the following emergency review fees, as listed, the October emergency reviews, I guess it would just be the 700. Do we have a motion for that?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, second, okay. And all those, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, motion carries. Need a motion for the approval of the 2022 audit as prepared by Christopher Renners and filed as requested within the county and the state. Do we have a motion for the 2022 audit?
I'm making that motion.
Okay, any second?
Second.
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
Yeah, just to let everybody know that they didn't find any issues or problems. The county support number is only higher because of the fringe benefit number. We actually had less operating funds than the county last year, but we did have excess of revenues over expenses was $67,000. It's a little hard to track because there was incoming funds and outgoing funds, and we put money temporarily into what you'll see here on the balance sheet, total liabilities and fund balance. There is a fund that we put aside for to pay the county in the following year. That money will be, it's a liability to us, but it will be paid out to the county in January every year, January, February. But since the state's on the fiscal year, because the county's on a calendar year, that's how we've been doing it since I've been here. So it all works out, but we will definitely have a positive year last year financially.
Great, Ed, thank you.
And just for the board knowledge, I'm sorry, but we will give a copy of that to the controller's office. We will also give a copy to Elaine, who can forward it to county council, and we'll also give a copy to our the executive director of council.
thank you. Okay, we need a motion to transfer 43,169.50 from the affiliate money market to LVR account to address the direct deposit from the state. Do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion, make the
I'll second.
transfer.
A second. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yeah, just so it's the same as always, the state only allows us to have one direct deposit account. And we chose the affiliate membership money market. So when the funds come in there for various programs, then we have to transfer it and put it into the right bank account.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor of this motion, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, the motion passes. Do we have a motion for 1,655.94 from the affiliate money market to LVR account to address the direct deposit from the state? Is that the right? Okay. Is that's a new one, right? And
Yeah,
we
that
have a
is,
motion-
that money that comes into the, it was a replenishment amount that we paid out for our project, and they're reimbursing our capital account.
Okay. All right, do we have a motion for that?
I'll make that motion.
I'll
A
second.
second. Yes, hearing a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
And those opposed? Motion passes. Next motion is approval of the ACT technician invoice payment from Chester County for 4/1/23 to 6/30/23 for a total of $1,162.84. Do we have a motion for this request?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Okay, have a motion, a second, and any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, motion passes. Next motion is approval of the ACT technician invoice from Chester County was combined with the ACAP invoice. We have a total bill of $8,511.22. Note this bill will be paid once we negotiate the payment between the two programs. Do we have a motion for this? Oh, I'm sorry, go
I
ahead.
did find the agenda. You have the copy of the older one that, I'm sorry, but
Okay.
there's a couple other issues that I'll direct you on afterwards. But this one here, what we're gonna do is go ahead and pay them that amount of money, and then we'll separate it out into our various bank accounts. Some of it will go charged to the ACT technician program, and some will be charged to the ACAP program. Now that we're waiting for our checkbook to come in, and we're gonna get invoices correctly developed by Chester County to correspond with the amounts of that $8,511.22. So we'll divide it up, but rather than chasing down, we're making Chester County wait for a check and chasing down the chairman for a signature, we'll just go ahead and get the check and pay it and then sort out the bank accounts for our next meeting.
Okay, do we have a motion with that
Yeah,
explanation?
I'll make that motion, the revised motion request.
Okay,
Second.
do we have a second? Okay, any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those
Aye.
opposed? The motion passes. Next motion to approve the reimbursement for completion of the DCNR riparian buffer project, Thompson and Miller after final inspection and verification. The total check to Land Studies is $15,975. Do we have a motion for this request?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Okay,
And for the board's information, we already have received the reimbursement money upfront from DCNR, so we have that money in our account to pay out to them.
okay. All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 All those opposed? The motion passes. Old business, scanning permit files and electronic permit submission proposal. Do we want to discuss anything there, Ed, or?
Yeah, just so, this is the contract that we had with DocuWare software, IMR Digital, and it was, they've done a lot of the scanning. I think the only have 17 boxes left to scan for the permit file, so they moved pretty far ahead. This is the $30,000, $30,000+ grant we broke it down into. So we're gonna give them $12,001 now for the payment now, and to cover the cost to date, which is the bulk of the work so far.
Okay, thank you. Karen, the Agriculture Conservation Assistance Program update.
Well, I know that's
Wrong again?
we had two other motions that Ray doesn't know about because he had the old agenda. That
Okay,
was,
is it, do I have an email? Maybe I have an email with the,
it was in the last email.
oh, here it is, new agenda. Okay. There we go. Sorry about that. All right, so we have two
that
more.
one should be a motion, I'm sorry. That on the, so that one here, I requested a motion, you can probably see it now, right?
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry, what number? It's to reimburse the county,
That IMR digital, I thought when you went to the new business, that the old business, that was actually the motion, my apologies, but there's actually the motion, the last of the three there. New motion request to pay partial invoice to IMR digital for scanning and permit files for $12,107.68.
okay.
I'll make
So
that
we need,
motion.
okay, do we have a second for that?
I'll second.
Okay, any further discussion? And all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. So, did we get so is that the only one, or I have
No,
two more?
There's two more. Yep.
Yes, okay. The next motion is to transfer 1,000 from the affiliate check into reimburse petty cash. Do we have a motion for that?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion?
Just to let you, the board know that we keep $2,000 in that account, no more. So we don't have a problem with improper usage. So it's down to 900. So with 1,000, we'll bring it back up close to the $2,000.
Okay, all those in favor?
I,
Aye.
Those opposed? The motion passes. The next motion is to reimburse the county for 4 Apple iPads purchased by the IT department on our behalf. $4,225.60 check made payable to the treasurer of Delaware County and delivered to John Beck IT department for depositing. Do we have a motion for this request?
I'll make that motion.
I'll
Second. Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The motion passes. All right, so now I'm on to old business again. Okay,
Thank
Sorry
you,
about
Megan.
that,
Sorry about
everybody.
that.
yeah. No, I had it. I just went to the wrong email. So I guess we're on number 2, Agriculture Conservation Assistance Program, update. Karen?
So I've done 3 site visits with potential applicants for the ACAP program. I've gone out with the Chester County Conservation District to look at these sites, see what their needs are, see if any of the projects that they have in mind would be eligible for ACAP funding. So Chester County Conservation is doing that technical assistance, and then I've been kind of the resource for the grant program. So Chester County is going to be following up with all of the landowners with their technical reports and ideas for projects that they could install, and see how everyone wants to move forward. So we do have some interest in the program, and we're just waiting on those follow-up reports from Chester County, and hopefully we'll get some applications soon.
Chester County did do a inventory and evaluation of the Garrett Williamson lot, which was an excellent summary of what was needed out there. One of the things that they were advocating for is for their manure storage to put a roof over it and a concrete pad. So that's going to be rather expensive, but that may be one of the things that they're contemplating applying.
Mhm.
All right. And all right, thank you, Karen. Going to number 3, the replacement process for the Conservation District Manager.
Yeah, I just want to let you know that a
Cheryl.
few things that I've been working on. One was work with Gina now to handle the check writing. So when Cheryl sees the check, she's the ones that holds all the checkbooks. She can't sign for them. It would only be the manager and the officers, but then that would be the double check that we'd have. So she would be in position to write all of the checks and do the processing paperwork we use with our accountant. And then I could double check that to make sure that we're putting in the right accounts and whatnot. So that's being handled. I'm also working with Ari and Carmen on doing E&S reviews, trying to get that started. They're working on some follow-up reviews of ones that I've already reviewed and reviewing the responses made by the engineer. And some of them are easy, some of them are hard. So they're working on that, getting exposure to the E&S review process. And the job for my position has been posted. It's been on Indeed. It's also, I put it on the PHCD website, and it's also on our website. So that seems to be moving ahead. I have not heard of any applications to date, but I don't know that they're from Indeed, whether the county would send them to me directly or not. So we're going to have to cross that bridge with them next.
Thank you, Ed.
But that is a major accomplishment to have the job posted by the prior to my actual date of leaving. That's a big advance, and Steve knows that well too. So it usually, so hopefully that'll help.
Thanks, Ed. So Cheryl, you ready to take over?
I feel a little frazzled after sitting in traffic all the time, so feel free.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. I didn't catch it all, I'm sorry.
Okay, it's up to you to finish this since you started it.
Finish the whole thing? Okay. The report from cooperating agencies. So is Shannon going to give that report?
We got new business.
What's that?
New business. We skipped over new business.
Oh, did I skip over? I'm sorry, you skipped over new business. I don't know. Okay, Cheryl, maybe you should get, all right. We'll go number 2024, the annual work program draft.
Yeah, that, just so everybody knows, I gave that to you in your packet. Anybody that has any input into that, this is the draft, the first round of submitting it out there. Anybody that would like to add something to that, please reach out to me, send me an email or reach out to me on phone, and I can get it prepared, the draft for review and approval at next meeting.
Okay, great, Ed. Thank you. Karen, the mini grant applications.
Yeah, so we received 5 mini grant applications. You should have a copy of the summaries in your packets there. So since you have the summaries, I'm not going to go into too much detail for each of the projects, but I do want to still present them to you for each of the groups here. So Darby Creek Valley Association submitted an application to continue to expand their water monitoring program. So one of the things that I want to highlight in here is that the last time they applied for mini grant funding was to purchase supplies to support their water quality monitoring. They had 10 active sites that were covered by 16 trained community scientists. So that was back in 2022, and today there are 24 sites and 30 volunteers. So they've had tremendous growth in the program, and they're still expanding up and down the watershed. And they have a new training. I think 11 people are on their waiting list to get involved in this program. So they're requesting $500 to purchase more supplies to put together monitoring kits for these new volunteers that they have. Let's see, the Friends of Little Crum Creek Park, they are a new applicant, at least since I've been here. They are a nonprofit group of volunteers who do a lot of stewardship of the Little Crum Creek Park in Swarthmore Borough. They are requesting $500 to do native plantings along the stream, which is a tributary to Crum Creek. This tributary, I believe it doesn't have any plantings right now. I think it's a little degraded in the park, so they're looking to purchase plants to do plantings there. And they're also doing some other programs, including opening up a contest in the borough to name the unnamed tributary to Pine Creek, which is exciting. And there's actually a process that they go through to do that officially, to officially name the tributary. So like I said, they are requesting $500 for that project. The Eastern Delaware County Stormwater Collaborative is requesting $500 to establish a small meadow, a native plant meadow, in Collingdale Borough. So when I say small, it is very small. It's about 10 feet by 15 feet. Yeah, 10 feet by 15 feet, and it's, in a completely mowed area of this park. The park has other uses. There's a playground there and basketball courts. But the turf grass area is not used for any active recreation right now. So they're interested in installing a native meadow to use it as an example in the borough, for their residents and a teaching opportunity for visitors to the park. So I did actually visit that site a little while ago, so they're familiar with the process to do that in the most effective way possible, which would be killing off the turf grass, planting plugs, and then overseeding with a native meadow mix. So like I said, they're requesting $500 for that project. The Newland Grist Mill is requesting $500 for a wetland expansion. They've done a lot of work around their frog pond and the adjacent wetland. So they're requesting funds to purchase plantings to enhance their newly expanded wetland area along there to enhance the wildlife habitat. And number 5, the North American Land Trust, we had funded through a mini grant program. I think in the spring, we funded a tree planting there. So they're requesting $500 to reimburse trail signs that they already had created and installed. So this is a recently acquired property. And they just installed these trails that go through the fields and also the woods and connects. Let's see, they connect an outdoor classroom and a picnic area. So like I said, they did already purchase the signs, and the signs are there for wayfinding purposes at the preserve. So they are requesting $500 to reimburse them for those signs. So those are the 5 mini grant applications. So the total grant request this round is for $2,500 for all projects.
What's the budget total?
It's I think we allocated 3,000 a year, and we have 2 grant rounds. Is that correct, Ed?
That's what you said in our program, but it's still flexible up to the district directors on how they want to do that. You can go over if we have to. We have funds available.
2,500 requested here, and 3,000 is available.
No, we already, off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure we awarded 3 projects in the spring.
That's 1,500.
1,500 is remaining.
If we stick with that 3,000,
Yeah.
yes.
All right, okay, well, thank you, Karen.
So, I'm sorry, Ray, before we move on, I would need a decision made on those.
Oh, yes,
So
motion, you need, okay, so we need a motion.
Yeah, so whatever the board would want to fund, if we do want to, I don't know if anyone has any questions or,
The only one question that we had questions on was the idea of reimbursing somebody that's already done something for trail signs.
It is unusual.
Yeah,
and while trail signs are important, if they're not entirely educational, especially for conservation practices in this case.
Don't make a motion.
Excuse me,
Someone should make a motion.
Okay, so make a motion to, yeah, I'm sorry, so to accept the applications, all the applications for the,
Or,
Allocate $1,500 to the program.
Well, then we can only fund 3 of the 5. right? I like 1, 2, and 3, but if we could fund one more, I would fund number 4, and then number 5 would be last
that's
place for
number
me.
5, right?
Yeah.
Okay, little discussion, anybody?
I
You
think
guys come to a mutual agreement?
Yeah, I'll amend that, make number 1, 2, 3, and 4,
Alrighty,
$2,000.
alright.
Does it make sense to go less than 500 so we could spread it out more? Whereas,
I think that would make sense, but it is already kind of a small amount.
yeah, it is.
And a lot of them have, they do have matching funds, so they are already paying into it.
Right.
Right, and just so the board is aware, we had a very productive year with emergency reviews, so we do have more money in that account than we normally do. So they usually get like $6,000 a year, we're up to 12 something, so we double the amount of emergency review.
Right, that's gonna be my next question, can we afford you to do more? And it seems like, I said we can, right?
We can.
It's a fee. So,
And North American Land Trust is, that property is in Chadsford Township, or pretty close to the county boundary.
right,
They could probably get $500 from Chadsford Township if they ask nicely.
right,
Yeah, we just funded our last round, we funded the project.
Yep.
So it's,
All right.
So you're still new to the mini grant program, still learning what it's about.
so do I hear a consensus, a second? Or did you make a motion to do something here? I'm sorry.
yeah, Rain.
Yes, Steve did, and then Randy.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
Okay, do I hear a second for Randy's proposal?
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all right. So
Thank you.
Top 4 and jettison the trail sign.
Thank you.
She will let them down, Ken, so they come back with some better.
Right, they'll come back.
I'll give them new ideas.
Trail sign with a planter underneath, right? Continue, Ray.
oh, you want me to, okay, I didn't have to pick it up, okay. Thanks, Cheryl. Okay, yeah, so we go into the cooperating agencies reports, I don't see Beth on the call.
No,
so-
Beth called and said she had to go to training today, so she could not attend.
Okay, so just Shannon, do you want to give your report?
Yeah. Sorry, I couldn't be there today. I didn't want to get anyone sick before the holidays.
All right.
But hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm just going to mention a few things from the talking point since I am losing my voice. There is a Chapter 102 SOP training series that's continuing that will take place on Thursday, November 30th from 9 to 11. And this session is titled Construction Stormwater Permit Review for Inspection Training. Please let me know if you guys need the link for that. There is on page 2 of the talking points, there is a leadership development vault webinar series, and this has 3 scheduled webinars held 12 to 1 on November 15th, which is tomorrow, the 29th, and December 13th. Anyone interested in participating in these webinars can register at the leadership development website. And a reminder that the 2024 Conservation District Director nominations are due by December 15th to the SCC. And then, Karen, I know you deal with ACAP with Chester County, so I'm not sure if you are attending the administrative training on November 21st in Montgomery County. But we also there's registration is still open, so we're actually encouraging conservation districts to bring a 2nd or 3rd staff member or even a board member to attend so that several people in each district are familiar with the administrative guidelines for ACAP. And this training will include understanding ACAP guidelines, policies and forms, handling of ACAP funds, administrating ACAP projects, and record keeping. I will be there as long as I feel better. So that's next Tuesday, right before Thanksgiving. And then page 4, there is continuation on the Sunshine Act and director nomination details, if you want to take a look at that. And then page 5 is just some dates to remember. That is all I have for today. You guys have any questions?
That-
And I do also, is Ray in there?
Yeah, I'm on the screen
Oh,
too.
no.
Yeah. Oh,
Ray,
Oh.
Bate. Because I went to Bates Motel and I just want to say it was fantastic.
Oh, thanks.
It was my first time going, so.
Very good.
it's a, it's an experience.
Just wanted to mention that, but thank you guys.
All right. So, yeah, thanks, Shannon. Yeah, no, yeah, you have no motions, right? So I can move on. So go ahead, Ed,
Yeah.
for your report.
You have a copy of my report. One of the things we didn't talk about under the DocuWare program that we're working the data testing. We tried to do some applications and unfortunately we ran into a problem with the file size being too great for the form. So he's working on a workaround for that. 20 megabytes is the limit for the application form. And most of the applications that we started to get in had files that were much larger than that. So we're going to work probably he has a way that there would be an FTP site that they would upload to, and then that would automatically transfer over to DocuWare. So it would just be another step in the process. But hopefully that'll work. We are currently working with people sending in the applications on various formats and copying it over into our hard drive and then loading it individually into DocuWare. And that is not something that I want to continue with. I want to be able to have it all come into one type of download service and then automatically go into DocuWare so we don't lose applications. That's what the problem is. So he is working on that. He's also working on the reporting system, but we've been coordinating back and forth and doing some testing, and things are moving ahead with that. The RC&D, I've been chairman now for the last, whatever it was, since the RC&D and the federal government stopped funding, but I handed that. We had an election and Christian Strohmeyer is now the new chairman. So we're working on getting the bank accounts and everything transferred over to Chris. Karen will still be coordinating the conservation planning trailer for the region, for the group. Like I said, I worked with Carmen and Ari on the ENS reviews. You can see we had 23 erosion control plan reviews. We have 5 that are overdue, and that's basically because of the holidays are all in line. Because you get in trouble when you start getting phone calls. So hopefully the next 2 days they'll be able to get those out of here. We also have 11 various enforcement cases that we're working with DEP on. We settled 2 of them, I think, or maybe 3 of them. Yeah, PS talked a little bit the other one that with some fines and penalties being issued, but we still have 11. A lot of them have to do with 105 enforcement, which is good to see that DEP is finally doing some Chapter 105 enforcement. They usually walked away from those for many years. So that is good. That is Carol in the 105 section that does a lot of that. That includes shops at Ridge Road. I know that Donna is aware of that one. And also across the street, Springton Lake.
Pulte Homes, yeah,
Pulte
Spring Lake shop.
Spring Lake, the shops at Spring Lake. It has to be behind Glen Eagle. There's a basin and a wetland problem that they're working on doing a mitigation for on that site. And there's a couple other ones that we've been working on. So it's taking up a little bit of time. We're also having a little bit of growing pains working with the county. They have 3 bridge projects that we've had to do compliance work in, and I think we're finally getting in tune a little bit and getting things straightened out. So it's growing pains. They have a new engineer. They have a new public works director. And some of these permits that were done several years ago before she came aboard. So we're learning together on some of how to handle some of these things. In that regard, we also have another county project coming in, and I know, you might not be aware, but transfer stations, the Solid Waste Authority has moved out of the building. They used to be upstairs. They moved over into Baltimore Pike. But they want to rebuild 2 of their transfer stations, which they only have really 2, and that's one in Marple and one in Chester Township. So we had our first multi-DEP PAC meeting to go over some of that process. So it's going to be starting to take shape. They really was very in the very preliminary stages at this point. That's about all I need to talk about on the list. If anybody has any questions, I'd be glad to answer.
What are they doing with the transfer stations?
They're going to tear them all down and make them into places that would also include local residents to be able to drop off small trucks and stuff. They will also do some recycling events there. And he's also thinking about including at those stations, rather than the household hazardous waste collection days, having some way to do household hazardous waste at these new facilities.
So you have to hold them until something can come along and get them.
Right.
I went to the hazardous waste collection day this year. And it was very efficient, I must say. Much more so than they were in the beginning.
County Park.
Yeah, at the one in Chester Township, I think.
That's actually off Borough. It's right there next, across the street from the solid waste facility. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And it was very efficiently run, which was good because nobody was idling their motors and sitting there like they do with some of it. So that was good. But I was pleased with it.
I met with the solid waste authority. If there's a new person in charge and he's still working with the old one,
Mr. Brooks.
Yeah.
The new, yeah.
we're doing a trail study down there along their property, which is actually owned outright by the county, not the authority, we learned. We're gonna do some title searching stuff to figure it out for sure.
In Chester Township?
Yeah,
Yeah, I brought up the issue that we had a problem at the emergency training center with ash disposal. And I think they probably did it the same other 2. So they probably have the same issues with the ash. And I think the only reason APA made it a bigger issue with the emergency management training center, because it was so close to the Superfund and the Norwood dump and everything else, that they were studying it. But the other ones that they have to evaluate too for ash. So hopefully we wouldn't have any problem with where you're putting the trail with the ash. He's looking into it.
Yeah, what did they do with the ash?
Well, the ash has some, was having problems in the Fulcroft area, because they were, that Summer Creek was eroding the side of it, so the ash was going into the creek. And they had to armor the stream bank at that point, and they also capped the whole site by putting paving on it for the training facility they have now.
Right.
So that was the agreement they made to try to keep it off the Superfund site list.
Right.
And then they never finished the covenant. So all of a sudden, out of midair, Rebecca Yurkovich is working with the DEP to finish that covenant. That's like, I don't know, 12, 13 years, maybe 20 years.
Years old,
Yeah. So to finish that covenant. So I don't think there's not a problem there, because the paving has been maintained.
Mhm.
So I don't think the stream bank been a problem. And but it's funny that it just come up all of a sudden after 20-some years.
and the other transfer site is in Marple.
Yeah.
Marple.
Yeah, that's across the road from
Yeah.
Hill.
And I know my memory serves me that we had an ash issue when we were working with the Blue Route construction. So I know, I'm pretty sure that the ash embankment there was being treated or capped or. But the only problem was that they built a softball field over top of it, faced everything.
Yeah, it's maintained by County Park, so by the county.
You're not allowed to put, if it was a cap site, you're not allowed to put recreation area on it. Yeah, well, we'll see. Maybe it's not contaminated for some reason. Maybe they burnt different stuff down at that Folsom. We'll see.
All right.
What's the phase 2 of Chester Creek Trail? Where's that?
I can tell you that. Yeah, that's nearing the end of final design process, and that would resulted in the bid documents to go out and get a constructor for that. And
It goes from where to where?
where does it go? Starts at the south end of phase one
Okay.
and then, crosses Creek Road and crosses the creek by rehabbing a trail, old rail bridge. And then goes along the creek up till right about Bridgewater Road, at the Savoy Concrete.
Okay.
We're hoping to get that underway at some point next year.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And apply
It's
for
been in the works
funds.
forever.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
we
Yeah.
started the design process in 2018.
That's a great trail. Okay, all right, moving on, Ed, thank you, Michelle.
Okay. As I mentioned, one of my enforcement cases did get finally closed out in October, or I was not, maybe September, but it wasn't on that report. So that was for Edgemont Country Club in Edgemont Township. So I have our cost recovery and what their civil penalty was on my report there. And then just, yeah, a few pre-application meetings. And those applications have already been submitted to us since those meetings in October. And then just a lot of inspections, a lot of final inspections for NOTs, only though one has been approved. But I have a bunch that I did in the past week, so that's all I have to highlight if anyone has questions.
What was the first meeting at the top there, Skycrest Mill?
Oh, so that's been, that's an older development, probably started about 10 years ago. And that's the one right on Baltimore Pike that backs up to the median bypass.
Okay, so
It's called Reserve at Berkshire.
yeah, I thought that's what that, I didn't know if there, that was there or somewhere else with the same name.
Yeah, so they have been done for a little bit of time now, so they submitted their notice of termination. But it was denied for some paperwork technicalities, so they just wanted to meet to discuss some of those comments.
It's all built now, so.
Yeah, yeah, so since that time I've been out there, everything looks good.
Yeah, and I believe, our new solid waste director lives in that development.
But hopefully keeps it clear.
The county got money last year to improve that until it's actually like a park with a sign and it'll be a new trailhead sort of on the road that goes into that development.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, thanks, Michelle.
You're
Aaron?
welcome, right?
Okay,
Yeah, so I'll just highlight, I was a part of that pre-application meeting for the Chester Creek Trail. It was actually my first pre-application meeting that I got to sit in on. Other than that, I had a chapter 105. I was the technician who inspected the Manchester Road complaint when we received that. And the other chapter 105 inspection was the follow-up to that first complaint. I have since gone back out there. They've addressed all my comments. Everything seems to be developing in the right course of action now. And then other than that, just was busy with a bunch of reviews. The major amendment for Mid Trail was issued last month. Other than that, if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
And both of the county bridge complaints were forwarded to us from the Fish Commission, so. And you were coordinating with our new waterways patrol on.
He has not gotten back to me since I reached out to him, so at this point, I'm not sure what
Okay.
intends to do.
Yeah, that one was tough in addition, because when we contacted DEP, we thought maybe it was a GP 11, which we wouldn't have any record of. And they said there was no permit issue. And then we went back and forth and back and forth, and finally we got the permit. Public Works was able to find it, and they did it through e-permitting. So they didn't know that they would done it through e-permitting because it's relatively new. So then we also learned that we were able, when DEP issues a permit through e-permitting, we can access the file and get copies of the file. So once we found that out and were able to do it, we were able to clear up some things, such as they had a restriction on the time that they could work there. October 15th was the cutoff date, because of, red-bellied turtles. And then we had to work with the Fish Commission because it didn't really make sense what we were reading because it's not consistent with everything else we did, but they confirmed that everything was okay, so we're good with them.
Yeah.
But it was a learning experience, that's why I said learning experience.
But it was upside.
Okay.
The learning experience, part, right?
And a year-old bridge is going to be replaced, so.
Okay, thank you, Ari. No other questions. And I guess it's back to you, Karen.
Yep.
Okay,
So you have a copy of my report. I'll highlight a few things. I was contacted by a homeowner in Chatsport who lost, I don't know a number, but a ton of trees during a storm, I think in October. So she contacted us to get some trees through the Keystone 10 Million program. So I actually got some people together and we went out there to take a look at her property and see what was going on. So I went out there with the DCNR, our service forester, and Megan, the master watershed steward coordinator. And we were able to walk her property and her neighbor's property to provide some guidance on how they could manage their properties in more environmentally friendly ways. And Megan and Kayla from DCNR, they were both able to give species recommendations from the trees that we have, and other plant recommendations for what they were looking to do to replace the trees that they lost. So branching off that, I still have trees left over from the Keystone 10 Million program that will give to these homeowners and possibly some of their neighbors, and then we're going to open up the rest of them to the watershed stewards because they have ongoing projects throughout the county and could probably use some trees. I did go to the Brandywine Red Clay Alliance to pick up our supplies, so that was our tree tubes and stakes. That was a workout. We got 1,700 tree tubes and stakes, and there were two of us loading up our cars.
That would be a workout.
Yeah, it was fun. So that program's still going on, and we're gearing up for the spring distribution now. Let's see. For low volume roads, I had the State Conservation Commission and the Center for Dirt and Gravel Road Studies out to 2 sites in Thornberry. So that was the one of those was the one that we had approved last month pending State Conservation Commission approval. They gave their approval, so they're good to move forward on that one. And then we looked at another site where they were having some problems. Tomorrow, we're holding another one-day ESM training for our municipalities. Unfortunately, there was very little interest, so we really only have 5 people coming tomorrow. But they're still coming to do a training for us. Can't say we'll do it again if there wasn't a lot of interest this time, but we'll see. So I'm grateful that they're coming. So that'll be tomorrow. Keeping the trailer going. All counties, I think, used it. I'm sorry, Bucks, Montgomery, and Delaware counties. We all used it in October. That is all that I wanted to highlight from my report, unless there are any questions.
okay. Thank you, Karen. Okay, the erosion sediment control plan reviews and any discussion or questions on that or? No requests for assistance. Well, thank you, everyone. The next meeting is December 5th. And I guess it's time to entertain a motion for adjournment.
Make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion on that? No, all in favor? Okay, all right, thank you, everyone.
Very much.
Okay,
I
Bye.
apologize again.
bye, see you.